Today I'm going to show you how to make a repeated flower pattern like this one in Gravit Designer. You can use your pattern to fill any shape that you want. I used it to fill a cell phone case. Let's start by making all the shapes that we want in our pattern. Opening a new file, new design. Let's go to print, size, letter, landscape. Now, looking at my pattern, I know that I want to have basically 2 tulips and 2 different daisies. And then there's a couple of filler shapes as well. So the tulips can be made like this with an ellipse. Hold down Shift. Let's choose a blue color. Okay, and let's change that shape to a path, the Convert to Path button. Take the sub-select tool and drag this point up. Switching to our regular pointer tool, holding down Alt, let's drag off a copy. Let's rotate that a little bit this way. And let's hold Alt, drag off a copy, or you can copy and paste it. And then let's flip this one. So now we have our 2 flower petals. Let's line them up here. Maybe a little closer. Okay. Try and get them even. That looks pretty good. Now let's draw a box around them to select all 3. And go to the compound shape tool and choose Union. Now let's give the tulip a stem. Stem can be a rectangle. Let's make it green. And maybe round the corners a little bit. And we'll push it to the back. Send it to the back. That looks pretty good. If you need to align it to the center, just select the compound shape of the tulip and hold Shift and select the rectangle, and then go to Modify, Align, Align Center. Our tulip is almost done. We just need a couple of leaves, and leaves are done the same way that we made the petals for the tulip. So let's start with a circle. Let's fill it with the same green as the stem using the eyedropper. Let's convert to path with the Convert to Path button. Choose the sub-select tool and drag this point up till it looks more leafy. We can even change that point into a sharper point by choosing the straight joint under joint on the appearance menu. Okay, switching back to the regular pointer tool, let's make this leaf smaller and let's rotate it and drag it over to our tulip. Once you get it the way you want it, You can duplicate it or copy and paste it, and then flip horizontal to get another leaf facing the other way. There, that looks great. Now I'm going to select everything in my tulip and group it with the Group Items button. I'm going to call this group Blue Tulip. Hit return. I'm going to make it smaller. Move it over to the corner. Make it smaller still. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate it with Command or Control D. On a Chromebook, it's Control, Command on a Mac. So now I've got 2 blue tulips. I'll move one off to the side. And I want to just select the flower. So I'm going to open this by clicking the caret in the Layers panel. I'm going to choose my compound shape, which was the tulip. And I'm going to change the fill color from blue to red. Now I've got a red tulip. So there's 2 things for my pattern. Okay, I need a couple of daisies. So we practiced these once before. I will show you again how you do it. I make 1 petal here and give it a fill of yellow. Or you can do a gradient or whatever you want. And then I'm going to Alt drag off a copy a little distance away. Whoops. Hold Alt, drag a copy a little distance away. Hold Shift and select both of them and group them. This is important to group them or it won't work. All right, and then you duplicate with the Command or Control D. And look up here in the Inspector panel. Choose an angle, write in an angle of 20, hit return, and then do the Command or Control D again, and repeat it until you've gotten all the way around your flower. Okay, I'm going to select all of that and group it. And then I'll make a little center. If I hold Shift and Alt, it will go right where I want it. Let's fill that with orange. Oops, looks like it didn't center. Let's select the circle and hold Shift, select the flower, and we'll go to Modify, Align, Align Center, and Modify, Align Middle. All right, so when you're done, always group it, select all and group it. And you can make this much smaller as well. Here's another flower. Oh, it needs a stem. I like to have a curvy stem on this one, and then I flip it so I've got them in 2 directions, and that makes for a nice sense of movement through my pattern. So I'm going to just make a curvy path with my pen tool. Hit escape. And I'm going to select the path and put a border on it of green. Let's use the same green throughout. Okay, and that will be not 1 pixel, but 10 pixels. All right, let's send it to back. and maybe move it up a little. That looks good. And now I would like to add a couple of leaves to that. And duplicate it and flip it. Put one on the other side. Okay, great. And then I'm going to group this whole thing with the stem and leaves. Group. And then I'm going to duplicate this whole flower, or you could copy and paste it. Duplicate is just quicker. It's Command D or Control D on a Chromebook. Duplicate, and then I'm going to flip horizontal with this button up here. Flip horizontal. So now I have two flowers that kind of have opposite movement, and I'll use that in my pattern. Okay, I want a different color, little different style of daisy next, so let's try it. Make another ellipse, and this one I would like to fill it with the blue, a little different color blue, kind of a baby blue there. All right, holding Alt down, I'm going to drag off a copy, just like we did before, to a little distance. I'm going to select both by holding down Shift and group them, and duplicate them again with a Command or Control D. And this time I'm going to give it a 45-degree rotation with the angle in the inspector panel by typing in 45. And then I'm going to duplicate again, Command or Control D, and again, and that's all. It's done. I'm going to select these and group them. I think I will add a little bit of a circle to the middle. Maybe a brown. Or it could be orange. And if you need to align those, you just select the circle and you select the flower too. Go to Modify, Align, Center, and Middle. Okay. All right, I'm going to group these. I'm not going to put a stem on this one. Just move it over here with my pattern elements. Now I just need some little filler objects. One little leaf filler object I'm going to make with ellipses. Choosing the green with my leaves. I'm going to convert to a path and change that shape with my sub-select tool. All right, that looks good. I'm going to duplicate this and then flip it vertically and move it down. Oops. With my regular pointer tool, move it down. and then select both and duplicate, and then choose a 90-degree angle by typing in 90 under angle in the inspector panel. And that's the shape I was going for. I just want to select it all and group it and make it much, much smaller. And I will rotate these as little filler designs in my pattern. Rotate them to different angles, duplicate them. Oh, and I'm also going to throw some little dots in there as fillers. That is all the shapes we'll need for the pattern, which I will show you how to make in a separate video. Okay, have fun making your pattern. You can make different flowers than mine. You can make things that are not flowers. You just decide what your pattern is going to be and make multiple objects that you can repeat in a tiled pattern. I'll leave it up to you. See you next time.